Ms.Kimi Muldner, and I teach English at Corsicana High School. And twice I've been lucky enough to get grants from the Corsicana Education Foundation for books. We called it START, for Start Reading. And these are really, really great award-winning books that are high interest with great literary value, and the kids just seem to love them. And I've really enjoyed seeing kids become readers by using these books. These are some of my students that I had last year, and they enjoyed some of these books too. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Alexis Baker, and I'm a senior in high school.
I'm Jasmine Rice, and I'm a senior as well.
My name is Jordan Lopez, and I'm a junior at Corsicana High School.
Mark Nada, junior at Corsicana High School.
So last year, those who are juniors this year, they got to read a book called Whirligig last year, and those who were seniors got to read a book called Zigzag last year. And both of these books captured the kids' interests. I knew that they would, but it was just amazing to watch the kids become readers while they were reading these award-winning books. What did y'all think about the books that you read?
It was more like real life, since Zigzag was about a teenager that was stuck on her boyfriend. It was more like connecting to us instead of like Great Gatsby or something like that.
Yeah, I think more of us like could relate to something like that. Like it was more like you can relate to it. Like usually when you read books in school, you know, you kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll just do it just because. But you can actually relate to this book.
So it's just a story about a girl stuck on her boyfriend?
No, it's way more than that. She was stuck on her boyfriend, and because she wasn't as rich as he was, he had more money than she did.
Yeah, she kind of like revolved her life around him.
Yeah.
And then until then, she went on a road trip with her cousins, and she seen that it was more to life than just being, you know, up under her boyfriend all the time. That it was more that she had to find herself, like, you know,
instead of trying to follow him around everywhere.
That must have been some good cousins that she learned from, huh?
Yes, they had a rough life too. They had lost their dad like right before the trip.
Wow.
And then her, what was her cousin name? The girl, I forgot what her name was, but she was
Iris.
Iris. Wasn't she like more worried about her appearance than, you know?
Yeah, and she did she was bulimic, and her cousin Robin was the girl's name in the book. She found out about it and then told her aunt because she was concerned.
And then the little brother, I don't know about him.
So really what you're saying, though, is while you're catching vocabulary, while you're, you know, analyzing literary elements and stuff like that, you're actually reading stories that are more relevant and more interesting. Did you see kids in class who you know have never had an interest in reading show any interest in these books at all?
Yes. Like,
you for one.
Don't give any names. I don't want to hear any names. Because would y'all be surprised if I told you that since getting books like these with those grants, we've had some problems with people stealing the books.
Oh, goodness.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, I am surprised, but it is a good book, but I wouldn't steal it. But you know.
I probably would. I would probably ask you, could I take it?
Okay, but what did y'all think about Whirligig? What was that book? That's what y'all read, wasn't it?
Yes.
What is a whirligig?
Well, it's just like an object. It's not just one, but a lot of different things are spinning on it. And the kid, he made like 4 of them in the 4 corners, which is about Washington, California, Maine, and Florida. And he just did different ones because that was his punishment for drunk driving and killing this lady's daughter.
Wow. And so he was just a kid?
Teenager.
And he traveled to the 4 corners of the United States. How did he know how to make a whirligig? How does anybody even know how to make a whirligig?
Just went to the library, I think, and he just found a book and read it and saw what the guy did. And there's notes that he himself, the guy who had it before him, wrote down and helped him out with it. There's 4 different kids who got touched by it. One Korean kid who was adopted, and I think his was up in Washington, and he saw the angel playing the harp, and he learned the lesson, and his parents did too, because they wanted him to be the stereotypical one of doing everything, being smart, doing everything, being great at everything. But yet, the instructor who was teaching him, I think, violin lessons, was saying, you need to take breaks, but try your best while you're doing it. And the parents didn't see that in the kid because he didn't want to do half the things they made him do. Then the one in California, I'm not real sure which one that one was.
Wasn't that the girl whose grandma had lived through the Holocaust?
Yes, and she was, and she was always, I think, looking towards the downer side of everything, but yet her grandma was looking towards a higher, good life of being happy, saying you need to not always look down, always look up, have your head up. There's always going to be bad parts, but yeah, that's what makes the good things better.
I don't know, it sounds like these books have really, really good life lessons in them. Are they challenging books, though?
This book was not challenging at all. It was easy to kind of like pick up on what it was saying.
Yeah, more connected, like.
Yeah, but you have to like really like listen to me into it though.
So all the words were super easy in it?
It was a lot of, I know in Zigzag, it was a lot of metaphors in it. Mm-hmm. Like, she didn't, like, come out and say it. You had to like, really pay attention because she would say one thing and mean another. And, like, the kids in there, too, they did that a lot, too. So you had to really pay attention and actually read it. But it was easier because you felt...
Like, you kind of, like, you got it. Like, you understood, like, where it was coming from.
It's more connected.
Well, let me ask you this. As I'm making my lesson plans for this spring, should I actually include these types of books in what I have my classes do?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And why would you say I should continue to use these books in my classroom?
Well, you go ahead and talk.
Oh, so that the students can get more involved. Because I'm, like, me personally, I got more attached to the book because I've seen stuff like that actually happen. And I've seen people live the life, and some things that she was going through, I've lived it, so.
Yeah, but I think coming from, like, a student point of view, like, you'll be more into it. Like, you'll be, like, they'll be more drawn into class and actually want to, like, just come to class. Like, I'm ready to go to English so I can read my book. Yeah, that's how people so I can read it.
Did y'all feel the same way about yours?
Yeah, because I remember I never liked English. I hated English. I was always better at math until I started reading Whirligig. And I was just excited every day I'm going to go further into this book because it actually helped a lot because the writer was pretty much doing it off of a teen story, which gives us a bigger out view instead of someone who's 30 to 40. But it's better that they put it in our perception that we understand it so much better.
Well, good. I know with both novels, you ended up doing virtual road trips kind of as your big way to do an assessment of a project after you read these novels. And so you got to basically plan being on the road and plan your mileage and where you would stay and what you would do and your budget and all that stuff. Well, how was that project for you as a way to culminate the reading of the books?
It was more like real life, like outside of high school, because my mom does all that stuff when we go on road trips. So actually being with other students in class and working together and trying to figure out, well, let's do this when we get here and have a set plan and knowing how much money we're going down there with and how much we have to spend on fuel and transportation and then like a rent car or some stuff like that. Like we went all into detail on it.
Well, we're getting kind of low on books. Let's just hope that nobody loves them so much they steal any more of them, right? Oh, that's what happens.
It was
all right.
really good.
If you had the chance to tell the Corsicana Education Foundation anything about the kind of experience you had with these books, what would you say?
I would say definitely keep on making books like this because these, like actually, like students actually relate to them. I think it's a good thing to do and like keep on making books like these. Make books like that students can actually like relate to.
Yeah, it's not like the grants are going to waste because we actually do
actually read them and want to read them.
Yeah, and ready to read them.
Y'all agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? I do too. Watching my students, those who like to read anyway, become more passionate about reading. Those who aren't big readers and, just kind of moan and groan when they have to read an English class and watch them all of a sudden get fired up and, can't wait to get into the book every day and discover what's in there. That's just amazing to me. And so it's something that I really, really appreciate.